full, we can all live in different worlds. Hello?
Yes,
Yes or
yes,
no?
definitely.
Once you get hungry, we will all be in this world.
What's conscious? Save soil. This is V, and today I'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on can consciousness and the metaverse coexist? Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down other videos you want me to react to. With that, let's get straight into the video.
For our pleasure, for our entertainment, for our usefulness, we can create many things. The day you start thinking it's real, you're going to pay a huge price for it. I don't know if you have seen people dying of old age, because only when death comes at that moment, they realize they never lived. If you pay attention to anything, you will see it's much more than any metaverse.
I have a question, not directly about the soil, but about consciousness. We're moving towards this metaverse and this virtual reality, blockchain, kind of global society, kind of faster and faster.
You're talking about blockheads getting together?
Essentially. And that's actually the question. So like, in this world, will consciousness be able to exist positively in that world? Or is that going to be almost like a friction?
See, there is no that world and this world.
Yes.
If there was this world and that world and another world, then we wouldn't even be sitting here, we would have gone to that world.
Love that
There
start
is
so
only
far.
one world.
One world.
There is no this world and that world. Right now, we sit here, each one of you in your heads may be thinking you're in your own world. But that'll come crashing down when there's no food to eat. We'll all come to one world the moment we are hungry. When stomach is full, we can all live in different worlds. Hello?
Yes,
Yes or
yes,
no?
definitely.
Once you get hungry, we will all be in this world. So there is only one world. Don't imagine other things. Human creativity is just imitation of things which are already there, all right? For our pleasure, for our entertainment, for our usefulness, we can create many things. But all in this world, there is simply no other world. Don't believe that. Don't believe what happens in your mind as a reality. It is only a psychological reality. Your psychological drama, if you take it too seriously and think it's existential, well, that's called as hallucination.
Yes.
The day you
Psychological drama,
start thinking it's
keyword.
real, you're going to pay a huge price for it, huge. The only thing, let me tell you this, the only and only thing you got is life. Hello? Rest is all imagination, am I correct? If you don't understand what I'm saying, we'll take the life out of you. What have you got? You got
Nothing.
metaverse? You got money? You got property? What have you got, I'm asking you? The only damn thing you got is life. And the life that you are right now is a consequence of the microbial life that's happening in the soil. It's not because of you they are there, it's only because of them you're here. I'm not talking only of food production, I'm talking about your very evolution. Who you are right now is a consequence. All this microbial life, we have forgotten that, for that we are paying a price. So you're only a consequence of the life that's happening in the soil, and the only and only thing that you have is life. Minus that, simply you have nothing. So don't imagine things. It doesn't matter, you go to the moon, you go to the Mars, still the only thing that you have is life, isn't it so? Don't miss that point, because that's all you got. I don't know if you have seen people dying of old age. I've seen so many people dying around me, not because of me, okay? I go there because people invite me to be there. What I see is 80% of them, when the moment of death comes, they're not in pain, they're not in fear, they're just bewildered. Because only when death comes at that moment, they realize they never lived. They misunderstood their psychological drama as life. Your thought and your emotion is your making. And your technology is also your making. You put on glasses and see all kinds of things, that's all you're making. You enjoy all that, it's fine. But you must understand essentially your life. That experience must always be there. It should not become hallucinatory, isn't it? So let us not be driven by commercial forces to believe something that is not true as true. The fact is, you're alive, and if this creation is not metaverse, what the hell I'm asking? You never paid attention to it, otherwise, if you pay attention to a leaf, if you pay attention to anything, you will see it's much more than any metaverse. People are not paying attention to life, so they're trying to create alternate streams. These are commercial streams. You enjoy it, but don't fall into the trap.
Safe soil, let's make it happen. This was a beautiful video, lots of nuggets of wisdom that were shed to light by Sadhguru. And I especially love how he focused on technology being similar to our thoughts and our emotions, and essentially how they're all of our making. In a way, they're just psychological dramas. You see, it's not that you can't use technology, or in this case, use your thoughts or use the emotions, but it's to realize that you don't want to be compulsively identified with them. The moment you do, as he says, you're essentially setting yourself up for a recipe for disaster. So really, that was a huge take home. Don't take it seriously. And I love the way he answers the question too, and that's really why I connect with him and resonate with him. It's really not about good, bad, yes, no, right, wrong. It's about, especially recently, what I've been aligning more with and realizing from the spiritual journey, it's a lot more about not the what, but the how. So the same thing applies to the thoughts, the mind, feelings, or in this case, technology, including the metaverse. It's not necessarily a good or bad thing, but it's the how are you using it. And that is why I truly connect with him, because ultimately, a lot of these changes that need to happen with the world come down to your consciousness. He even talks about this too, and I forget the exact phrase, but basically the lines go with how there's, I think, enough food to feed people, like I think 2 to 3 times, if not more, in the world, but yet people are still starving. What does that tell you? It tells me, at least, that people are starving because people are not consciously sharing the food. Now, yes, there's this whole capitalistic viewpoint on life and the marketplace and the economy, but that doesn't mean that food should be, food is it a commodity? I don't know, let me know in the comments, but pretty sure the point is food shouldn't be viewed as, let's say, gold, right? Food should be honestly available to everyone, or at least in an ideal world it should be. And in this case it is, but because of our level of consciousness, people are not getting fed. Now, does it mean that this is going to be an easy fix? No, but that is why I really love what Sadhguru is doing with a lot of his movements. He's really trying to focus in on the individual and their level of consciousness versus trying to get into politics or even start some sort of protest per se. He's really trying to connect at the individual level. And yes, some might view this as not significant, but the point of return will come, honestly, maybe more later, but that will be significant. I can guarantee you that when everyone's hearts and levels of consciousness really can just be more clear and deepened, the change will happen. And so even, for example, Sadhguru talks about this, which is the idea that even morality, it's a very human-made concept. And that if you realize, and we're just aware, conscious in this case, of how half your lungs are literally sitting on the tree, would you even question the morality of cutting down a tree? And it's actually a very political thing in a way, cutting down a tree. And so, yeah, I think it's as simple as that. I also love how he connected all this questioning of the metaverse and is it good or bad? Can it coexist with consciousness? I love how you connected it back to the soil. That was very delicately yet consciously used. The placements of these essential insertions of why at the end it comes down to the reality of life, which is I think what he was trying to go after. I mean, we tend to get, I think, almost so lost. And this is my view here now, not Sadhguru's, but I think we tend to get so lost with technology and so identified with it that even video games, for instance, we get lost in it because we're identified with it and we're forgetting the real world that's around us. So at the end of the day, I think, again, it's not a question of is it good or bad, it's a question of how conscious are you using it, number one, and number two, have you given enough importance and awareness and connection to the real life, like the earth, the soil? Thank you so much for taking this time and watching this response to Sadhguru's video on the metaverse. I've started doing more individual reactions now, so if you have any other video reaction requests, I will be trying to get to as many as possible, so please comment those down below. And would also appreciate you hitting that subscribe button, the like button, and even turning your post notifications bell on. With that, make your great day, take this joy and stay conscious. Ecstasy.